Welcome to today's analysis, everyone. We're diving straight into a topic that is absolutely dominating the political landscape right now: Donald Trump's 2026 resurgence. We're going to break down exactly what this comeback strategy looks like and honestly look at its massive potential to reshape not just the future of America, but the entire dynamics of global trade and international relations. So what is fundamentally changing in America right now? We really have to ask ourselves, is this comeback pointing the nation in a totally new direction? Look, Trump is no longer just a politician to his base. He represents a massive movement. But what does this actually mean for everyday citizens like us? Will it make the country stronger, or will it just deepen those existing divisions? Well, let's figure that out.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for the explainer today. We'll cover the 2026 comeback strategy, economy and trade policies, shifting international relations, the domestic social divide, and finally, a global ripple effect.
Starting things off with Section 1, the 2026 comeback strategy. If you tune into any of the recent rallies or speeches, you'll notice they focus heavily on three core pillars: immigration, the economy, and national security. Now, these aren't just talking points. They are the absolute top priorities dictating literally every policy proposal coming out of this campaign. The first major strategic decision targets illegal immigration. There's a renewed, intense call for stricter border walls and much tighter laws. The perspective from the campaign here is that illegal immigration is a direct threat to American jobs and national security. So, locking down those borders, that's seen as the absolute necessary first step to protect domestic interests. And the overarching theme anchoring this whole agenda: America first. And this isn't just a catchy slogan. It strictly dictates that every single economic and trade decision has to prioritize America's benefit above all else. As you'll see, this concept really is the anchor for all the subsequent trade and economic choices we're about to explore. Which brings us to Section 2, economy and trade policies. Understanding the economic trade-offs here is absolutely crucial. On one hand, proponents point to traditional focuses on tax cuts and business-friendly policies to drive job growth and just massive business expansion. But on the other hand, critics warn that while we might get that short-term growth, it could trigger a heavy risk of rising inflation. For everyday people, that translates to more jobs, sure, but potentially much higher prices for your basic everyday goods. We're seeing a very similar debate play out in the energy sector. There's this huge push to boost oil and gas production. Supporters see this as the best way to ensure energy independence and really leverage cheaper manufacturing for a global trade advantage. But, and it's a big but, environmental groups are issuing strong warnings, arguing that doubling down on fossil fuels is incredibly dangerous for the climate. So it's this stark contrast: immediate economic stimulation versus long-term environmental concerns. Let's pivot to Section 3, shifting international relations. A defining feature of this foreign policy shift is a really strong preference for avoiding traditional wars and military conflicts. Instead, the focus pivots heavily toward direct negotiations. It's a very different, highly transactional style of foreign policy. It basically treats international relations, and especially global trade agreements and tariffs, almost like high-stakes business deals. And this direct negotiation style, it's going to be tested immediately across several major global hotspots. Take China, for example. Intense trade tensions there could lead to aggressive new tariffs and even a rapid decoupling of global supply chains. With Iran, diplomatic hurdles directly impact global oil markets and pricing. And with Russia, redefining relations could fundamentally alter European energy dependence. Make no mistake, this promises a massive shift in international trade dynamics. This entire approach is driven by one core belief: without strong leadership, America could lose its global power. The strategy is rooted in the idea that strong, unapologetic, and highly assertive leadership is absolutely required to maintain America's dominant status on the world stage, especially, when renegotiating those massive international trade deals. Moving on to Section 4, the domestic social divide. Once again, we find two very different realities coexisting here. Proponents view this political comeback as a powerful symbol of freedom and patriotism. They see a leader fighting for their values. Meanwhile, the opposition strongly argues that these exact same politics are what cause deep societal division, basically fracturing the country even further apart. And accelerating all of this, massive social media influence. That unyielding digital presence ensures almost every statement just goes viral instantly. It acts as a constant 24/7 catalyst for national debate, keeping the political temperature incredibly high and ensuring these policies are literally always the center of attention. Finally, Section 5. A global ripple effect. The reality we have to face is that these decisions irrevocably shape America's future. Whether these policies lead to unprecedented national strength or just heightened political tension, those shockwaves are going to hit international supply chains, they'll alter global trade routes, and they'll redefine security alliances. The entire world is watching this extremely closely. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Is this 2026 comeback ultimately good for America, or is it just too risky? Based on the economic shifts, the trade policies, and the complex social dynamics we've explored today, what do you think? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the ripples shaping our world.